I drove 2 hours to breathe. That was the plan. Portsmouth to Lake Sunapee, windows cracked, coffee cooling, radio off. My wife used to call it resetting the soul. She's gone now. The lake house is what I have left. I turn into the gravel drive and kill the engine. Peace should be loud here. Blue water, loons, cedar. Instead, I see 2 white bathrobes on my porch, 2 steaming mugs lifted like a toast to my absence. Megan, my daughter, leans on the railing like she owns the horizon. Tyler, her husband, won't look at me. He stares at his mug as if it's a lawyer. I step out with my weekender bag. Morning. Megan doesn't smile. Dad, you can't stay here. I blink. Say that again. I do in the masjid. Weekend's already planned. She gestures at the water. Romantic. We need privacy. This is my lake house. I keep my voice flat, contractor calm. Deed. Taxes. Insurance. In my name. She sets her mug down. The clink sounds like a gavel. You hardly come up, and when you do, you sulk. Tyler and I are building a life. Don't make this toxic. Toxic. I repeat. The word feels borrowed from a therapist's Instagram. Tyler finally speaks. Maybe text first? Basic courtesy. For my own property? I laugh once, no humor in it. I poured the footings in '06. Your mother picked the tile. The mortgage draft still hits my bank account on the 1st. Things and how'd. Megan's eyes go glassy with that new, hard sparkle. Boundaries work both ways, Dad. You don't get to drop in and ruin energy. Energy. Boundaries. I swallow. I drove 2 hours to sit with the quiet. 10 minutes. I'll be out of your hair. No. She folds her arms. You're in the way. There it is, the sentence that relocates you from father to furniture. I set my bag down. Who copied the key? Don't be dramatic, she says, and that's the first smoke of gaslighting. You probably misplaced your spare again. I catalog my spare keys in a file with the will and the deed, I say. The file I showed you after your mom's funeral so you'd know where things are. Tu I had and did not hen brise. She exhales like a boss firing dead weight. Dad, leave. Silence. I pick up the bag, put it back in the truck, and get behind the wheel. My hands feel older than 55. I reverse out while my daughter turns her back on me and Tyler pretends to check the weather. On Route 103, my phone buzzes. A text from Megan. The preview line is a knife. Megan. Hey, just be cool about this, okay? I tap it open. Megan, we need the house more than you. You have your place in Portsmouth. Don't make this bigger than it is. Me. It's my deed. Megan. Megan. It's our family's future. Be a team player for once. Team player. I almost pull over to throw up. By dusk, I'm back in Portsmouth, sitting at my dining table with a pen, a yellow pad, and a growing list titled Written Evidence. I write, text thread, 6:12 p.m. She says, we need the house more than you. I date it. I screenshot it. I email it to myself and to a private folder. I learned in construction that memory is hearsay. Paper is truth. At 9:14 p.m., my phone rings. Megan, I answer. Yeah, her voice is businesslike, a tone she saves for waiters and weak people. Listen carefully. Tyler's parents are moving into the lake house, Sunday. I say nothing because sometimes silence is a mirror. It makes sense, she continues. Their lease is up. They can't afford anything decent. You don't need a big house. You're alone. This is what family does. What family does, I repeat, is ask, not announce. We're past that. A click of keyboard in the background. I already set up the utilities transfer. There it is, entitlement dressed in efficiency. You can't transfer what you don't own, I say. Also, any change order on that account requires my ID and signature. You're being selfish, she snaps. Mom would be ashamed. You don't get to weaponize your mother, I say, surprisingly calm. You don't get to weaponize grief. Silence, then a low threat. Dad, you never use it the right way. It's wasted on you. I'm going to stop you there. I stand, because sitting makes me feel like prey. This is my asset. It sits inside my estate plan. The will references it. The bank accounts fund it. End of story. You can't say no to me. I just did. She sucks in a breath. Fine. Then don't show up Sunday. Don't make this harder than it has to be. The call ends. I stare at the dark window where my face floats, older and somehow sharper. I open notes and type, incident log 9:14 p.m. Megan announces unauthorized occupancy. Threat level, high. Immediate action, counsel. 10:02 p.m., another text. Megan, please don't be dramatic. You'll thank me later. Me. Text me your request in writing if you're asking for anything. Do not enter the property again without my permission. Megan. Lol, permission? It's family, Dad. I forward the thread to my email with the subject potential trespass Suitcases. I BCC my own archive account, because I've learned the hard way that phones die and people delete. Servers keep secrets longer than families. I pour coffee I don't need and pull the file box labeled House Suitcases from the hall closet. Deed, tax bills, insurance declarations, photos of the original build. I lay them out like playing cards. My hand is better than hers, but I've been folding for years. At 11:08 p.m., I do the thing men like me hate doing. I Google a state attorney near me and click the one with 5 stars and a last name that has won cases in town since the Reagan years. Ava Chen, Esquire. The contact form asks for a summary. I keep it clinical. Subject: urgent property boundary issue, written evidence attached. Message: I am sole owner of a lake house, deed attached. My adult daughter and her spouse have entered without consent, copied a key, and are attempting to install his parents on Sunday. I have texts stating their intent. I need immediate counsel on trespass, protective measures, and any recommended title divided by estate structures. Available 8 a.m. Daniel Brooks. I attach PDFs, deed, tax bill, screenshots. I CC myself again. I create a folder called Boundaries and drag every file into it. Then I open a second folder called Guilt and put nothing in it. Midnight. The house pops and settles. I sit with the old ache, the one that whispers I'm a bad father if I say no. That voice kept me in the role of enabler for 3 years. Paid the car, paid the wedding, paid the emergency deposit. Every swipe of my card taught Megan that love equals access. I say it out loud to the empty kitchen. Was I enabling their toxic behavior all this time by being too nice? The refrigerator hums like a therapist. I answer myself. Yes. I pick up the pen again. Action plan, pre-counsel. Change locks with documentation, and police civil standby if advised. Notice of no trespass in writing. Certified mail. Camera plus smart home audit with Nate next door, everything legal. Nothing cute. Review will and update beneficiary designations on related bank accounts to align with boundaries. No unscheduled conversations, text divided by email only, to preserve written evidence. My phone dings at 12:04 a.m. Tyler. Hey Daniel, can we be adults? My parents have nowhere. Be generous. It'll make you look good. Me. Please direct all requests in writing. Do not contact me after 9 p.m. Future messages will be forwarded to counsel. I send it. Then put the phone face down like it's poisonous. Out the window, the streetlight paints the snowbank with a tired halo. I think of the lake house porch, of 2 white bathrobes and 2 steaming mugs, of my daughter telling me I'm in the way of my own life. I feel the line appear inside me, thin, bright, humming. A boundary. I didn't know I had it. Now I do. Tomorrow at 8, I will bring documents to a lawyer. Tonight I date the log, close the file, and turn off the light. The next time I drive to Suitcases, I won't be driving to breathe. I'll be driving to enforce. Sunday should sound like church bells and coffee. Mine starts with my phone buzzing like a mosquito that smells blood. 7:41 a.m. Incoming. Megan. I answer on speaker. Pen ready over my yellow pad labeled Incident Log. Listen carefully, she says, already in narcissist CEO mode. Tyler's parents are moving into the lake house. Today. Say that again, I reply. Because written evidence loves clarity. It's theirs now. She doubles down. We're transferring the utilities. I already filled out the online forms. You don't need that house, Dad. You're old and alone. This is what family does. There it is, the red line. Not a request. A verdict. Family asks, I say. Thieves announce. Wow, she scoffs. Toxic, much? You're being dramatic. Sees no claim. You used my spare key without permission, I say, keeping my tone flat for the record. You entered without consent. That's trespass. You're welcome, she says. We aired it out. Your energy is stale. I look at the deed spread on my table. the tax bill, the insurance deck page. I'm done being the enabler who apologizes for breathing. You do not have authority to transfer anything, I say. All accounts require my signature and ID. Any change you submit is fraud. She laughs high and brittle. Then don't worry about it. If it's fraud, it won't go through. Relax. Gaslighting lesson 101. Minimize the harm you're actively doing. Here's what's going to happen, I say, standing because prey sits. You will not step foot on that property. You will not give out the address like a party invite. If Carl and Linda show up, they will be asked to leave. If they refuse, police will be called on a civil standby to document removal. This is me, setting boundaries. In Bible, boundaries? She spits the word like a seed. You think a Pinterest word changes reality? We're helping. You're hoarding. Hoarding, I repeat. I built that place. I paid your tuition. I paid your wedding. I replaced Tyler's car. I have bank statements for every one of those. Would you like PDFs? All you as relievin'. Dad, she says, lowering her voice, dangerous soft. If you make this ugly, I will make it uglier. You will never meet your grandkids. That threat is exactly why we're speaking by phone and why this call is being logged. You're not recording me, she snaps. I don't need to. I have contemporaneous notes, and you have a pattern. She exhales into the mic. Here's my final. Don't go to the lake house today. Don't be that guy. I'm going to stop you there, I say. This conversation is over. I hang up on my own daughter. My hand shakes once, then steadies. Incident log. 7:41, 7:48 a.m. Megan announces unauthorized occupancy. It's theirs now. Insults. You're old and alone. 1 to a day. Admits attempted utility transfers. Threat. You'll never meet your grandkids. Action. Preserve texts divided by emails. Plan for police civil standby. Contact counsel 8 a.m. Monday. My phone lights up with a text barrage. Megan, 7:50 a.m. We're already moving. Don't be weird about this. Megan, 7:51 a.m. This is a family decision. Me, 7:52 a.m. There is no family decision about my deeded property. Do not enter. Any entry will be treated as trespass. Tyler, 7:53 a.m. Let's be adults. Utilities are in motion. Don't embarrass yourself. Me, 7:54 a.m. Any fraudulent utility request will be reported. Further contact in writing only. All future issues to counsel. I screenshot, airdrop to the boundaries folder. Email to myself with subject. Sunapee trespass threat plus utility fraud attempt. IBCC my archive and print hard copies. Paper is truth. 8:12 a.m. Email. Eversource. Utilities. Subject. Confirmation. Service transfer request. Pending verification. Body. A request to transfer service at 17 Meredith Point Road has been submitted. If this was not you, call. I pick up the phone and do exactly what the email says. Not me. Owner on deed. Deny all requests without my in-person verification. Document this call. The rep reads my name back, the address, the last 4 of my SSN. We've flagged the account. Any third-party request is denied. Saying and be due with her effective. 8:26 a.m. email. Me documentation. Subject. Utility fraud call log. Body. 8:28:25 a.m. Spoke to Eversource. Denied third-party transfer. Requested fraud flag. Rep ID. K114. Case number 82366 amperes. Coffee. Deep breath. I text Nate next door. Me, 8:29 a.m. You around? Might need a quick smart cam audit at Sunapee this afternoon. Within the law. No cowboy stuff. Nate, 8:30 a.m. Say when. I open my email. There's the auto reply from Ava Chen, Esquire. Subject. Urgent property boundary issue. Written evidence attached. Body. Thank you for reaching out. Our office will call at 8 a.m. Monday. Please preserve all written communications. Do not engage in physical confrontations. If you anticipate entry, consider contacting local PD for civil standby. I nod to the empty room. Already there. 10:03 a.m. unknown number. I answer. Daniel. Is this Mr. Brooks? A woman's voice, polite, official. This is Officer Hensley with Sunapee PD. We received a courtesy call from a party stating they were moving into your residence today and didn't anticipate issues but wanted it on record. Weaponized politeness. I keep my own steady. Officer, I'm the owner. There is no permission for occupancy. I'm requesting a civil standby at 1:30 p.m. while I inspect the property and verify it's secure. I'll bring ID and my deed. We can meet you roadside at 1:25. She says. If individuals are present and refuse to leave, we'll document and advise. Thank you. For the record, this call is part of my documentation. Understood. I hang up and text Megan. Me, 10:08 a.m. Do not enter the property. Civil standby scheduled with Suitcases PD 1:30 p.m. I will be on site with ID and deed. Megan, 10:09. My God. Calling the police on family? You've lost it. Me, 10:10 a.m. I'm documenting boundaries, not drama. Written permission is required to occupy property I own. You do not have it. I forward that thread to my boundaries folder and add an entry to the log. PD standby set, 12:52 p.m. on the road, Route 103, VO over highway noise. I'm not going to stop them with speeches. I'm going to stop them with process. The last 3 years I mistook guilt for love. I kept financing the fantasy that if I said yes enough times, grief would turn into gratitude. All I did was train a bad habit. 1:27 p.m. Suitcases PD pull off. Officer Hensley meets me calm, practical. I hand over my license and a crisp copy of the deed. She scans, nods. We'll be present while you secure the property. If anyone's inside, we'll advise them to leave. If they refuse, this becomes a civil issue documented for court. Copy, I say. That's all I need documentation. We caravan the last mile. Gravel crunches. The lake flashes blue between pines. My chest tightens, then loosens. The porch is empty, no cars, no mugs. The lock shows faint scratches near the keyway. I take pictures wide, medium, close, just like a site inspector. We walk through together. No luggage, no people, no energy, stale or otherwise. Just my wife's framed photo, catching the same light as always. Officer Hensley signs my courtesy standby record with her badge number. I tuck it into the house Suitcases folder behind the deed. On the way back to the truck, my phone vibrates. Megan, 1:58 p.m. You're ridiculous. Carl and Linda will come tonight instead. Less traffic. Me, 1:59 p.m. Do not. Any entry without my written permission is trespass. Further contact through counsel only. Send. Screenshot. Save. Breathe. At 3:11 p.m., an email lands. From Ava Chen, Esquire. Subject. Monday, 8 a.m. Confirmation plus initial instructions. Body, Mr. Brooks, bring. 1. Deed, tax, insurance. 2. Screenshots of all texts, divided by emails. 3. Copy of will, divided by estate plan. Bank statements proving payments made on the property and past support to daughter divided by son-in-law. Please avoid in-person confrontations. Consider a locksmith with police standby if you suspect key duplication. I reply in one line. Confirmed. I'm done apologizing for my own property. See you at 8. On the drive home, the winter sun sits low over the water, like a gold coin no one can steal. My phone stays face down. The old guilt hums, softer now, like a machine cooling after years of running too hot. Enough is enough. Tomorrow, I stop being a doormat. Tomorrow, I hire teeth. 8 a.m. sharp. Ava Chen, Esquire. Her conference room smells like copier, toner, and victory. I set the house Suitcases file on the table. Deed, tax bill, insurance deck page, will excerpt, a manila folder of bank statements showing mortgage drafts, tuition, wedding costs, the car for Tyler. On top, a stapled packet labeled written evidence, screenshots of texts, call log. The PD civil standby slip signed yesterday. Ava flips through quick, efficient. Good. You did half my job. Let's sort this. And have the kings and masher. I don't want drama, I say. I want boundaries that hold. You want enforceable, she corrects. Different word, better word. She taps her pen. We have 3 lanes. 1. Immediate possession and access control. 2. Paper armor for title divided by estate. 3. Evidence, discipline. Walk me through. 1. Access. You'll hire a licensed locksmith with police civil standby and change all hardware today. Smart locks if you want logs. Post a written notice of no trespass inside the entry dated, signed, owner on deed, with my card attached. We send a certified copy to Megan and to the Masons. No ambushes, no confrontations, everything by paper. Done. 2. Paper armor. Right now the lake house is titled to you individually. That's bare skin. Options. A revocable living trust with you as grantor and trustee, or a single-member LLC owned by that trust. The goal is clarity of authority and prevention of "Daddy said I could" phone calls. If you want belt and suspenders, we can transfer to a community land trust or charitable entity and reserve a life estate for you, permanent right to use, so no one can dangle heirs or holidays as leverage. I hear the words permanent and leverage and feel something uncoil in my chest. What's fastest? Trust and deed transfer. 48 hours if your paperwork is clean. LLC. Same day to form, deed in a couple days. CLT divided by life estate is a little more choreography. Let's prep trust today. We'll discuss the rest after locks. 3. Evidence. Stop speaking feelings. Write facts. You already started a log. Good. From now on, please put any request in writing. No late night calls. Email summaries after any contact. Per our phone call at 7:41 a.m., you said X. I responded Y. PDFs beat screenshots. Print them. Back up to cloud, and a thumb drive. She slides a 1-page communication protocol across to me. I read, use email, not phone. If phone unavoidable, send a same-day recap. No insults, no diagnoses. Quote, dates divided by times. Attach exhibits. I nod. I can do clinical. There to you. Ava studies my face a beat longer than necessary. You're used to saying yes to keep peace. Was I enabling their toxic behavior by being too nice? I hear my own voice, smaller than I like. I think I was. She doesn't coddle. Yes, enablers teach narcissists that tantrums are currency. We'll devalue that currency. Her assistant, Grace, brings a thin stack. Retainer, trust intake, authorization, to speak to utilities. I sign. Initial, date. Paper, is truth. Ava again. 2 more items. A. POA risk. If Megan or Tyler float a forged power of attorney, we kill it with your notarized POA revocation on file and a blanket no third-party authorization letter to utilities, insurer, county, B. Bank. Close any joint convenience accounts. Confirm beneficiary designations on your main accounts, reflect your will, or better, your trust. I don't co-own anything with them. I'll verify beneficiaries today. Her mouth curves, not a smile. Something like respect. Good. Last thing. Don't threaten, and don't gloat. Let the paper swing the bat. I slide a check across the table. Swing hard. As I stand. She adds, almost offhand. By the way, if I'm blunt about these family dynamics, it's because I've seen this up close. A pause like a closed door. You're not my first Sunapi boundary case. I file that away without prying. There's a gravity in it I recognize. 10:37 a.m. text to Nate neighbor, IT security. Me. Locksmith 1 p.m. at the lake house. Can you meet? Looking to audit cams and logs legally. No haunted house. Just receipts. Nate. On my way with a neutral kit. Nothing cute. Everything admissible. 12:58 p.m. Lake Sunapi. Front porch. The locksmith's van idles. Officer Hensley pulls in behind me for the civil standby. Clipboard ready. We're a small procession of process, not passion. Same keyway, the locksmith says, kneeling. We'll repin and replace strikes. Deadbolt with audit trail, please. I sign his work order, printed name, date, time. Nate arrives with a black backpack, gives me a look that mixes loyalty and mild judgment. We could have done theater. You want compliance instead. Compliance scales. He grins. We'll set 2 POE cams, 1 at the entry, 1 interior. You'll get time-stamped motion logs you can export as PDFs. No projections, no tricks. Admissible. 8. We work while Officer Hensley watches the tree line. In 20 minutes, the door hardware is new. The cylinders turn like a safe. Nate's tablet chirps as cameras come online. He shows me the app. Event log, clip download. IP stamp, Add a visible placard, Nate says, already taping a clean professional sign inside the glass. Notice, private property. No entry without written permission from Daniel Brooks, owner, divided by trustee. All access recorded. Sunapee PD notified for civil standby upon request. Questions, contact, Ava Chen, Esquire. Phone divided by email. No snark, I say. Just law. Snark is for Reddit, he says. You're building a record. Officer Hensley notes the time. If anyone shows and refuses to leave, call dispatch. Reference today's standby and your case number. We'll add today's lock change to the report. I thank her. She leaves. The air tastes clean. 2:21 p.m. phone buzzes. Email from Ava. Subject, draft revocable trust plus pour over will. Attached, draft trust you as grantor divided by trustee, successor trustee TBD. Deed template to transfer 17 Meredith Point Road into trust. Pour over will to align assets. Letters to utilities divided by insurer, divided by town clerk, re. No. Third-party changes. Review. Red highlights. We can sign tomorrow 9 a.m. I open the PDF. My name appears in a context that feels like armor. Trustee. Authority without apology. Nate peeks over my shoulder. Looks serious. It is. Another ding. Email from bank. Your appointment with a senior banker is confirmed for 4:15 p.m. regarding beneficiary designations, fraud alerts, and account access controls. I text Megan a final clinical note. Me 2:27 p.m. For clarity, you do not have permission to enter the Sunapee property. Any attempted entry by you or the Masons will be treated as trespass and documented. All future requests must be in writing. My counsel is CC'd on this thread. CC, Ava's secure address. No reply. Fine. Silence is evidence too. On the drive back, the old script tries to climb into the passenger seat. You're a bad father. You're overreacting. Just give them a month. I crack the window and let that voice blow out onto Route 103 where it belongs. I say it plain, to the road, to myself, to the empty air that finally feels honest. No more guilt payments. No more gaslighting. No more being the enabler. Tomorrow I sign the trust. Tonight I sleep like a man who chose his side. 4:45 p.m. Back at Sunapee. Nate drops his backpack on my kitchen island like a medic opening a trauma kit. No lasers. No theatrics. Just clean, legal deterrence and receipts. Same rules? He asks. Admissible only. Admissible only, I confirm. I want a judge to nod, not laugh. We walk the perimeter. He sketches a quick plan with a carpenter's pencil on my old punch list. Layered security, bright warnings, audible notice, time-stamped logs, automatic escalation. Here's the stack, he says, tapping each box as he unpacks. PoE cameras with on-device storage plus cloud backup. Floodlights on motion. Set to high lumen daylight. A small code-compliant PA speaker for a scripted warning. Door sensors and smart deadbolt with access log. A network watchdog that prints a local event report every 24 hours. PDF. Optional. A 15-second tone before the voice warning startle without harm. Write me the script, he says. Keep it neutral. I take his tablet and type. Lawyer stiff. Security system. Attention. This is private property. Your presence is recorded. Leave immediately. Sunapee police can be contacted for civil standby. Failure to leave may be documented as trespass. Perfect, Nate says. No threats. All facts. He adds a grace period. Motion lights, 0 seconds. Tone, 10 seconds. Voice, 15 seconds. Auto email to me and Ava with a clip and timestamp, 30 seconds. We test it. I step across the porch line. Floodlights snap on. The tone hums just enough to prick nerves. Then my own voice, oddly steadier than I feel, fills the air with those 3 sentences. Clean. Cold. Lawful. 5:28 p.m. Email from Ava. Subject. Trespass notice plus utility letters. Drafts. Body. Attached. 1. Notice of no trespass to Megan Brooks, Tyler Mason, Carl and Linda Mason, certified mail plus process service. 2 letters to utilities, divided by insurer divided by town clerk. No third-party changes, W divided by O notarized owner authorization. 3. Police-friendly version of your porch placard. Print and post. Note. We sign the revocable trust at 9 a.m. Bring ID. I'll have a notary present. Attachments land with that satisfying PDF icon. I print the notice of no trespass and slide copies into certified mailers, Ava's assistant pre-labeled. I snap photos of each envelope with the receipt numbers and email the images to the boundaries folder. Paper is truth. 6:02 p.m. group text. Megan plus Tyler. Me. Formal notice attached. Do not enter the property. Written permission required for any access. All communications in writing. Counsel. CC'd. Attachment. Notice of no trespass. PDF. Megan. You're seriously serving your own daughter? Tyler. This is harassment. Will countersue. Me. Please direct legal responses to Miss Chen. Future texts, not related to logistics, will not be answered. Nate nods at my phone. That tone will save you later. 6:18 p.m. The placard. We post Ava's police-friendly sign at eye level inside the glass. Private property notice. No entry without written authorization from the owner divided by trustee. All access recorded. Suitcases PD available for civil standby. For questions, Ava Chen, Esquire, contact. By entering, you acknowledge this notice. Nate shoots wide divided by medium divided by close photos of the posted sign time-stamped and airdrops them to me. We also film a 10-second pan of the porch, focusing on the placard, the camera, the door sensors. No narration, just images a judge can understand in one glance. 6:40 p.m. The scripted warning. Final test. We run the sequence again, but this time I watch it on my phone as a push notification pings. Event. 6:40 and 12 seconds. PM motion at front entry clip attached. I tap. Floodlights. Tone. My voice. Then, a second email arrives. Event summary PDF. A neat page with date, time, device IDs, IP clip hash, and the phrase no entry occurred. The paper trail is writing itself. 7:03 p.m. bank appointment. Phone. A senior banker confirms beneficiary designations and flips a flag on my accounts. No verbal changes permitted. In branch only with two-factor ID. He adds a fraud watch note and emails a one-page confirmation. Subject. Access controls enabled Brooks accounts. Body. Verbal changes disabled. In branch only with ID. Beneficiary review complete. PDF confirmation attached. I forward it to Ava. She replies in one line. Good. Now your money matches your mouth. 7:28 p.m. The message I expected. Megan. Carl and Linda are on their way. They'll just sleep and leave in the morning. Don't make a scene. Me. They do not have permission to enter. A trespass notice has been served. Any presence will be recorded and sent to counsel. 3 dots. No reply. 8:05 p.m. process server, ring camera. A man in a windbreaker steps into frame with a clipboard and knocks on an apartment door in Nashua. The front cam catches Megan taking the envelope and saying, Seriously? The server's body cam, Ava CCs me later, records the standard line. You've been served. He timestamps and leaves. Another ping 30 minutes later. Tyler, affidavits incoming. 9:12 p.m. Internal audit. Me. I sit at the kitchen table and read my own communication protocol out loud like a pledge. No midnight calls, no fighting in texts, summaries, PDFs, exhibits. Somewhere in the repetition, the old reflex, the enabler looking for the path of least resistance, loses oxygen. My phone buzzes again. Unknown. We're 5 minutes out. Me. Identify yourself. Unknown. Carl. We have nowhere tonight. Don't be cruel. I type and delete 3 versions of the sentence I used to write. Of course, just this once. I breathe. I pick the sentence that belongs to the man I am now. Me. Carl, you've been served a written trespass notice. Do not enter my property. If you need resources, call 211NH for housing referrals. Do not come here. 3 dots. Nothing. I stand. Nate looks at me. We good? We're good, I say. And I mean I am. 9:36 p.m. motion alert. My phone rattles on the table. Event. 9:36 and 4 seconds. PM motion at driveway clip attached. Headlights carve the pines. A blue minivan idles at the bottom of my drive. The floodlights ignite the porch like noon. The tone sounds. Then my voice, me, not shaking, fills the dark. Attention. This is private property. Your presence is recorded. Leave immediately. The van sits in the wash of light. No doors open. Another ping. Event. 9:36 and 31 seconds. PM motion at front entry clip attached. A shape moves inside the headlight glare. The tone hums its 10-second prelude. I glance at Nate. He nods once, steady as a metronome. I tap forward and send the live clip to Ava with one line. They're here. The voice warning finishes its first loop and begins again. Calm and relentless. The house speaks. And this time, it sounds like me. 9:36 and 41 seconds. PM driveway cam. Clip 114. The blue minivan creeps up the gravel like guilt on four wheels. The floodlights wash the porch in hard daylight. The tone hums, low and surgical. Then my voice recorded earlier, composed and cold, rolls out over the trees. Attention, this is private property. Your presence is recorded. Leave immediately. Sunapee police can be contacted for civil standby. Failure to leave may be documented as trespass. 9:36 and 49 seconds. PM text. Me, Ava. Subject, Liv. Clip 114 attached. Minivan at entry. Starting loop. No entry permission given. 9:37 and 3 seconds. PM entry cam. Clip 115. Two figures in the headlights. Carl first, chin out, coat half zipped. Linda clutching a tote like it's a passport. They pause at the glass where the placard sits eye level. Linda reads aloud, voice catching. No entry without written authorization from owner divided by trustee. Carl waves it off. It's family. Voice warning, loop. 2. Your presence is recorded. Leave immediately. Carl cups his hands and peeks past the glass. Daniel, it's freezing. We'll be quiet. 9:37 and 18 seconds. PM. My phone speaker. Steady. Dispatch. I tell Nate, who's watching the screen. Then on record. I tap Sunapee PD and the call recorder within my note app that timestamps and saves audio to boundaries. Sunapee Police. This is Daniel Brooks at 17 Meredith Point Road. I have two individuals at my door after service of a no trespass notice. Security system is issuing warnings. I'm requesting a civil standby and documentation. Units en route, the dispatcher says. ETA 10, 9:37 and 42 seconds. PM entry cam. Clip 116. Carl tries the handle. The door sensor chirps. Event. Door contact. 9:37 and 42 seconds. PM and the PA runs my script again. Carl flinches like the house smacked his hand. Linda lifts her phone. FaceTimes someone. Megan's face fills a tiny rectangle, framed by kitchen light. Put me toward the door, Megan says. Dad, stop scaring them. You're being a narcissist. I speak into the empty air, knowing the mic hears me from the kitchen. For the recording, caller on FaceTime is Megan Brooks. She has been served notice. She lacks permission. 2. 9:38 and 10 seconds PM. Megan FaceTime audio through porch mic. You're gaslighting my in-laws, Dad. We'll sue for emotional distress. Nate taps the tablet, showing me the event summary PDF assembling itself in real time. Device IDs, IP stamps, clip hashes. Paper is truth even when it's pixels. 9:38 and 27 seconds. PM text. Tyler, me. Open the door, or this becomes harassment. Me, Tyler. Further contact through counsel. Do not enter. Civil standby en route. 9:39 and 2 seconds. PM entry cam. Clip 117. Carl plants his feet. You think a sign and a loudspeaker make you right? My voice answers him. Not angry, algorithm calm. Leave immediately. Failure to leave may be documented as trespass. Have no duriel. Linda looks at the trees like they might help. Carl, please. He'll call the police. Good, Carl says, jaw tight. We'll tell them what family means. 9:41 and 11 seconds. PM patrol. Arrival. Blue strobes lace the pines. Officer Hensley again. Plus a partner I don't know. Officer Perez. Body cams blink. Procedure breathes. Evening, Hensley says, neutral as a bench. Who's the homeowner? I am. I say from my kitchen, loud enough for the porch mic. Daniel Brooks. Owner on deed. Notice posted. Counsel copied. Carl turns toward the officers. We're not criminals, we're his family. Hensley nods once. I'm not here to judge, sir. I'm here to keep the peace. Mr. Brooks, do you want them to leave? And rest in that, the felm. Yes, I say. I do not consent to their entry. Perez gestures to the sign. This is clear notice. You've been served previously? Linda's voice wobbles. Some man shoved papers at us. We didn't read. Process server affidavits on file. I say for the record, Hensley to Carl, gentle but steel cord. Sir, the owner has declined consent. You need to leave. Carl's throat works. Just tonight. We'll be gone by morning. Perez shakes his head. If you remain after notice, you risk a trespass report. Don't put yourself in that position. 9:44 and 3 seconds p.m. entry cam. Clip 118. Carl stares through the glass like stubborn might unlock deadbolts. The tone hums 10 measured seconds, then my voice. Again. Relentless. Linda breaks. Carl. I'm cold. She tugs his sleeve. He looks at the officers, then at the placard, then at the camera that does not blink. Something inside him sags. He turns. They walk back down the steps. 9:45 and 27 seconds. PM driveway cam. Clip 119. The minivan idles. Carl and Linda sit with the engine running, faces lit blue by the dash screen. No one moves to call me goodbye. 9:46 and 1 seconds p.m. text. Megan, me. You called the police on your family. You are dead to me. Me, Megan. Per prior notice. Future communication in writing. To counsel. Do not enter the property. I forward the exchange to Ava with the subject, post standby threat. Ava replies, within a minute. Ava. Do not respond further tonight. Officer's body cam plus your clip equals perfect contemporaneous record. Sleep. 9:53 p.m. Officers at the porch. Hensley faces the glass. The mic catches her voice. Mr. Brooks. We're clearing. Will note voluntary departure. No breach. Notice reposted. Owner declined consent. You're secure for the night. Thank you, I say. For the record, this is exactly what I requested. She tips 2 fingers. Procedure acknowledged. 10:07 p.m. quiet. The pines stop glittering blue. The lake goes back to black glass. Nate packs cables like a ritual. He looks at me. You good? I am, I say, and the room agrees. 10:22 p.m. internal debrief. Email me CC Ava, subject. Civil standby summary. 9:36 p.m. Minivan arrives. System warnings loop. 9:37 p.m. PD called. Call recorded by Note app. 9:41 p.m. PD on scene. Officers Hensley and Perez. 9:44 p.m. Individuals depart voluntarily after notice. Evidence. Clips 114, 119. Event. PDF. Patrol incident number. Process server affidavits pending. I attach the event summary PDF and 5 MP4 clips. I BCC the archive. I print the email and staple it to today's incident log page. It's not over. It's organized. 10:40 p.m. The late gambit. My phone rings with a no-caller ID. I let it go. Voicemail transcribes. Dad, it's Megan. I'm done. I can't believe you'd humiliate us like that. You'll regret this. 10:41 p.m. My reply. Email, not text. Megan, all decisions regarding the Suitcases property are being handled by counsel. Please direct any requests in writing to Miss Chen. You do not have permission to enter. Do not contact me by phone. Email only. Daniel. 11:12 p.m. Nate at the door. He lingers like a friend who knows when to leave and when to say it anyway. You did it clean. No performative revenge. Just the law. I wanted to scream. I admit. You let the house do it. He says, tapping the placard. Best voice you've got. 11:30 p.m. The old tape tries, one more time. It whispers, you're cruel. You should have let them in for one night. I answer out loud so there's no doubt. Kindness isn't capitulation. Boundaries aren't cruelty. The refrigerator hums. The house holds its line. 12:06 a.m. Bank ping. Subject. Fraud alert utilities. Request denied. A third party attempted to change auto-pay details for your Eversource account. Request denied per your access controls. Case noted. FA 99104. I forward it to Ava. She responds with a single checkmark emoji and the sentence, write fax, let paper swing. 12:33 a.m. Last text of the night. Tyler. Enjoy your empty house, Daniel. You'll die alone in it. I do not answer. I file the text under threats misc. I close the file. I turn off the lamp. I leave the porch lights on, not as a dare, but as a statement. This house is not empty. It's full of boundaries. 7:15 a.m. morning after, for the record. I wake to frost, painting the windows and an inbox that is mercifully quiet. I scroll the nightly event report Nate's watchdog generated at 3 a.m. Event Summary 17, Meredith Point Road, 2136. Motion Driveway Clip 114, 2137. Motion Entry Clip 115, 2137. Door Contact, No Entry, Event 212, 2141. Civil Standby Patrol on Site. Officer IDs, noted by owner, 2145. Departure Clip, 119. No breach detected. Automated PDF, hash, 9F3C72. I forward it to Ava with a simple line. The house spoke. They listened. Her reply lands like a gavel. Good. 9 a.m. We sign the trust. 9 a.m. Ava's conference room. 2 pens, 1 notary, 3 stacks of paper that look like a cure for chaos. Ava slides the first stack forward. Revocable living trust of Daniel Brooks, she says. Your grantor and initial trustee. Successor trustee, who do you trust if you're incapacitated? I've slept on it. My sister, Elaine Carter. She's boring in the best way. Perfect. Ava initials a margin. Trust receives assets by assignment or deed. This aligns your will with a simple pour-over. Anything left outside pours into the trust at death. I sign. Initials DB bloom across tabs like road flares. The notary stamps, her journal open, recording my ID number, time, and thumbprint. Paper is truth. Stack 2. No third-party authorization letters, Ava says. Utilities, insurer, town clerk, tax office. No changes without notarized consent from trustee. I sign again. The notary's stamp thumps like a drum. Stack 3. Heavier. Quitclaim deed, Ava says. Conveying 17 Meredith Point Road, Sunapee from you individually to Daniel Brooks, trustee of the Daniel Brooks Revocable Trust. Setting. I read the legal. Sullivan County. Book divided by page to be assigned. Map divided by lot. Boundary calls with old stone walls and a sugar maple that's older than me. Consideration. $10 and other good and valuable consideration. The description is dry poetry. I sign. The notary seals. Ava flips a tab. One more. Another deed? I ask. Optional endgame, she says, eyes steady. Your trust now owns it. If you want to bulletproof it against emotional blackmail, we can transfer fee title from your trust to a community land trust and reserve you a life estate permanent right to use, occupy, and quiet enjoyment for your lifetime. When you're gone, the land trust keeps the property for community use as you've directed. No one, not Megan, not Tyler, not future pressure can lever you with grandkids at Christmas. The words settle like armor. How fast. I drafted it last night. She opens a red tab folder. Trustee's deed with reserved life estate from Daniel Brooks, trustee to Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust. We recorded your trust deed first. This one goes immediately after. You remain in full control while alive. You can even grant the trust reserved rights, storage, dock, guest usage, however you like. I glance at the ceiling, feel the old guilt try to climb back into my throat. I swallow it. We do it. Reedited. Ava sets the deed in front of me. The granting clause starts with KNOW all persons. I've always loved that line. It sounds like a door closing and a future opening. I sign. The notary seals. Ava's assistant, Grace, scans everything into a single, immaculate PDF and starts the e-recording upload to the Sullivan County Registry of Deeds. While we wait for instrument numbers, Ava says, 2 more documents. She slides short forms forward. Revocation of all prior powers of attorney, she reads. This kills any POA you executed before today and warns the world not to rely on a forged one. We'll record it too. I sign and initial. The notary stamps and logs. And notice of no trespass renewed from the trustee, Ava adds. Same content, but it now cites the trust as owner prior to the charitable transfer. And then, the land trust with your life estate afterward. We'll serve all four, Megan, Tyler, Carl, Linda again, with the new status. Clean chain. My phone buzzes. Email. Sullivan County Registry. E-recording confirmation. Instrument number 2025 to 11837. Quitclaim deed to the Daniel Brooks Revocable Trust recorded. 10:14 and 7 seconds. A.M. Book 2000, 189, page 442. Instrument number 2025 to 11838. Trustee's deed with reserved life estate to Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust recorded. 10:14 and 59 seconds. A.M. Book 2000, 189, page 449. A second ping. Recording stamp PDFs attached. Big black stamps across the top. Time. Book divided by page. Fees. A county's way of saying this happened. Ava allows herself half a smile. Congratulations. That house is now wrapped in more law than a courthouse. I exhale a breath I've been holding for 3 years. What next? We serve notice of title change and the renewed trespass warnings, she says. And we send a police-friendly one-pager to Sunapee PD so the next civil standby is 10 seconds long. Grace is already printing green USPS-certified slips. She affixes them like medals. I take photos, front, back, receipt numbers, and email them to the Boundaries folder. Paper is truth. Ava signs a cover letter to the Land Trust, acknowledging acceptance in my reserved life, estate rights doc, 2 guests at a time. Storage in boathouse. Quiet enjoyment. Why do you do this work? I ask before I can stop myself. The question is out there between the deeds and the stamps and the pens. Ava considers me for a beat, then closes the door with a soft click. Her voice drops, private. My mother. She looks at the tabletop, not at me. After my father died, her sister tried to move into her house just until she felt better. Brought cousins, changed a lock. Claimed mom promised. What happened? She cried the first week. Ava says, dry. She apologized for being difficult. She was the enabler, trained by a lifetime of family narcissists to make herself small. Then her neighbor, an old librarian, told her, kindness with no spine isn't kindness. Mom called a lawyer. No trespass. Police stand by. Door repinned. Later, she added a life estate and gave the house to a land trust for refugee families. She died in that house, not alone. Not afraid. Silence. The kind that tells the truth. So yes, Ava says, lifting her eyes. I take these cases personally. Thank you, I say, and it's too small for what I mean. She opens the door. The air returns to professional. Back to work. Was that roof? 10:31 a.m. Megan's email. Land subject. Intent to sue. Daniel, your harassment last night was abusive. We will be seeking an injunction and damages for Linda's panic attack. If you don't hand over the keys by Friday, we'll file. Megan and Tyler. Ava is already typing. Reply. Counsel to counsel only. Miss Brooks. Mr. Brooks is represented. Future correspondence should be addressed to me. Please be advised, title has changed hands. Instrument number S, 2025 to 11837 and 2025 to 11838. Sullivan County Registry. My client holds a recorded life estate. Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust holds fee title. Your entry is trespass. Any further threats will be preserved. Ava Chen, Esquire. She CCs me, BCCs herself, and attaches the stamped deeds. She adds a one-page explainer with citations to NHRSA 635-2 criminal trespass and RSA 477 conveyances of real estate, highlighted. She includes the police incident number from last night and a link to PD records request. It's a legal sledgehammer wrapped in etiquette. 10:44 a.m. auto reply from Megan's Gmail. I don't read legal spam. Nice try. Ava doesn't blink. Courts read stamps, not vibes. 11:05 a.m. Sunapee PD. Email. Officer Hensley. Received your owner status update. Noted instruments and life estate. If you need a standby, reference last night's case and this email. We'll treat any entry as a civil trespass and document accordingly. I forward it to myself and print. Staple to the incident. Log behind today's date. 11:22 a.m. Locksmith invoice. Paid. Includes door hardware SKUs. Repin set. Labor time. Date divided by timestamps. Photos. I file it under Exhibit D access control. 11:40 a.m. Grace drops the last packet. Notary certified packages, she says, cheerful with efficiency. Copies of everything you signed, plus the land trust's acceptance letter and the affidavit of mailing for each certified notice. Keep this set with your trust binder. A second set goes in our fireproof archive. Ava looks at me. Last script note. If they show up now, you don't explain. You don't argue. You only say, fee title is with Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust. I hold a recorded life estate. Leave the property. Then you call PD for a civil standby. That's it. I can do that. Good. She stands. One more thing to free you up. She turns to Grace. Draft mutual no contact terms. If they continue threats, we file for a protective order limited to property issues. We'll also prepare a cease and desist utility fraud and false reports. My phone rattles unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. The transcript populates. This is Tyler Mason. We've talked to a lawyer. You can't just give away a house. We'll overturn it. In this time doing this. Ava reads the transcript. They can't overturn a properly executed recorded sequence. The chain of title is clean. If they file something frivolous, we respond and seek fees. Do I tell Megan? I ask. And the old habit explain, appease, apologize nudges my ribs. No. Ava's voice is gently final. You tell me. You tell the paper. You tell the police if someone steps across your line. That's it. 12:02 p.m. We step into the cold. On the sidewalk outside her office, the winter sun is bright and unemotional. I hold a trust binder under my arm, the kind of book that looks heavy, because it is. Ava tightens her scarf. Daniel, hear me. I look up. You didn't destroy your family. You just stopped being their system. That's different. The sentence finds a place in me and sits down. 12:31 p.m. My kitchen table. I spread the recording stamps, the instrument numbers, the emails, the letters. It looks like victory. It feels like relief. My phone buzzes. Megan. Email. What did you do? I type 3 lines. No adjectives. No sermons. Megan. Title to the property is no longer held by me. See the attached recorded instruments 2025 to 11837 and 2025 to 11838. I hold a life estate the right to use and occupy during my lifetime. You do not have permission to enter. Please direct all future communication to counsel. Dad. I attach the stamped deeds and hit send. 3 dots appear, disappear, return. Then nothing. 1:05 p.m. Final entry for today. Incident log. 9 a.m. Trust signed. Pour over will executed. POA revocation notarized. 10:14 a.m. Deed to trust recorded. Inster, #205 to 11837. Book 2189, page 442. 10:14 a.m. Trustee's deed to land trust W divided by life estate recorded Inster, #20205 to 11838. Book 2189, page 449. Notices served, certified, PD updated. Bank controls active. Response script set. No further direct contact. I cap the pen. The house is quiet. Not empty. Quiet. The difference is law. 3:42 p.m. Portsmouth. My front steps. A fist pounds the door like it's owed money. I look through the peephole. Megan eyes bright and furious. Tyler a step behind, performing backbone. I hit record on my phone's note app and open the door 2 inches. Chain on. Megan goes straight to indictment. You humiliated us. Hand over the keys or I swear. Stop. My voice is flat stone. This conversation is recorded. Counsel is copied on any follow-up. Tyler leans in. You can't hide behind emails forever. Family talks face to face. Family asks. Thieves announce. I say. State your business in 1 sentence. Megan inhales. Her sentence is a blade. Give the lake house back, or you'll never meet your grandkids. There it is, weaponized future. I feel the old reflex crawl up my spine and I step out of its way. 3 rules, I say, counting on my fingers where she can see. Rule 1. Legal respect. Fee title is with Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust. I hold a recorded life estate. You have no right of entry. Rule 2. Honest communication. Everything in writing. No threats. No midnight calls. Rule 3. No emotional blackmail. Children present or hypothetical are not currency. Megan laughs, brittle. Listen to yourself. Narcissist word salad. No diagnoses, I say evenly. That's part of Rule 2. Tyler tries a softer angle. Look, Daniel, be reasonable. Linda's panic attacks your sirens. My police-friendly PA recited facts at normal decibels. I answer. Officer Hensley's body cam and my event PDFs corroborate. If you claim damages, you'll meet RSA 635-2 before you meet a sympathy card. Megan's eyes flick to my phone. Turn that off. No. I lift it so the mic is obvious. This protects all of us. She shifts tactics. Mom would be ashamed of you. I breathe once. You don't get to weaponize your mother. Not again. Silence. Street noise. A gull somewhere. Tyler tries threat math. We'll bury you online. Reddit. Facebook groups. Your clients. Contractor terrorizes his own family. Enjoy losing business. I hauled Wells. Defamation is discovery with better coffee, I say. I'll let paper swing. Megan steps in so the chain snaps taut. Open this door. No. I keep my voice quiet enough to force them to lean in for every word. Here is your fork in the road. Path A. You email Ava. You apologize for last night. You acknowledge boundaries. We discuss supervised holiday visits on neutral ground, if you can speak like adults. Path B. You continue threats. We file cease and desist, seek a no-contact order limited to property issues, and I stop reading your messages except through counsel. Pick. Path C. Megan says, smiling like a storm is cute. We show up at Sunapee with movers and dare you to stop us. We dead. I hold up a single sheet of paper against the chain so she can see the header. Sunapee PD owner status update divided by life estate on record. Officer Hensley's email sits under the seal. Civil standby in 10 minutes, I say. Every time. Tyler exhales through his nose. You want to die alone in that house? That's the hill? I'd rather die with a spine than live as someone's system, I say. And I won't teach a future grandchild that bullying works. Megan's voice softens classic gaslighting pivot. Dad, we're drowning. You've always been the one who fixes things. I was the one who funded things. I correct. The car. The wedding. The deposit. The quiet wires when you asked. I have bank statements and memos. I thought I was loving you. I was enabling you. She flinches like the word has weight. So that's it? You choose strangers over us? A community land trust over your family? I chose peace over perpetual hostage-taking. I point to the binder on the console table, visible through the gap. Trust, stamped in block letters. I chose clarity. Tyler's phone pings. He glances down, frowns. Our guy says deeds can be reversed. Then your guy bills by the hour. I keep my tone almost kind. Recorded chain is clean. Instrument numbers aren't opinions. Megan's hands shake. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm not doing anything to you, I say. I'm doing something for me. She blinks hard. When she speaks, it's the last tool in the drawer. If Mom could see you, she'd see me finally protecting the house she loved, I say gently. She'd bake you cookies and explain boundaries. We hang there a beat past and present, habit and line. I ease the chain one more inch so I can hand a letter through. Communication protocol and offer of mediation, property only. Ava drafted it this morning. It's 3 paragraphs and a calendar link. Last offer, I say. Mediation with a neutral. No property access, no tantrums, written rules. Or we go silent except through counsel. Tyler backs off a step. This is insane. No, I answer. This is adulthood. Megan stares at the letter like it's a trick door. I hate you, she says, quiet and honest. I love you, I say, just as quiet. And I won't fund your worst self. Her jaw works. She doesn't take the letter. That's an answer. Okay, I say. This interaction is over. Don't you? Tyler starts, but I'm already moving. I close the door softly, no slam, no scene. The chain slips free. The deadbolt turns with the new, confident click of hardware I paid for. On the other side, their voices blur into the hallway white noise. I open my incident log and write, 3:42-3:59 p.m. In person at residence. Threats, grandkids, reputational harm. Offered mediation, Declined. Reasserted status. Land trust, plus life estate. No entry, no contact going forward except via counsel. I scanned the letter. I tried to hand them and email it to Ava with a note. Offer made. Declined by conduct. My phone buzzes once more, no caller ID. Voicemail transcribes. Enjoy the trust, Daniel, you'll need it. Tyler. I forward to threats misc. No reply. The old guilt knocks, softer than it used to. I picture a child, maybe one day visiting a grandfather who doesn't flinch when someone says no. A kid who learns that love isn't a leverage tool. I set the truce binder back on the console. A book that looks like a spine. The house is quiet again. Not empty. Quiet. 7:12 a.m. Lake Sunapee. Frost on the deck rails. I make coffee in the same machine that's watched the last 72 hours turn law-shaped. The mug is heavy. Clay. A thumbprint in the glaze where my wife used to rest hers. I step onto the porch. No headlights. No bathrobes. Just a lake that doesn't care who thinks they deserve it. Today isn't about defense. It's about reset. 9:03 a.m. Tools on the counter. I unscrew what we added for the siege. The PA speaker comes down first. The screws clink into a labeled bag. Next, the extra motion tone, legal, but no longer necessary. The POE cams stay. They're quiet witnesses, not performers. I photograph each step before divided by after and drop the pics into a folder named post-resolution. Paper is truth, even when it's peace. Nate lets himself in with a knock-knock that asks permission anyway. You sure? He says, eyeing the speaker. I want the house back, not the haunted attraction, I say. Logs, yes. Sirens, no. He grins. Grown-up security. Got it. He wipes his hands on a rag and leaves me with a single laminated card by the door. Recording in progress. No entry without written permission. Clean. Boring. Exactly right. 10:17 a.m. Email from Ava. Subject. Maintenance plan, calm phase. Keep cameras and access logs. Renew trespass notices annually. Diary date added. If they reach out, reply. Please put any request in writing to counsel. If you wish, I can draft a family mediation framework. Neutral location, time limited, no property talk, therapist present, ground rules attached. I reply. Draft it. No promises, only rules. 11:05 a.m. Bank branch in person. I sit with a senior banker who knows me by the projects I've built and the checks I never bounced. We print the beneficiary designation confirmations and add a verbal pin lock to my profile. He hands me a one-page access control summary with today's date. I sign. He countersigns. The printer warms the page into fact. 12:22 p.m. Kitchen table. Sunlight. I open the trust binder and slide in a letter from Merrimack Lakes Community Land Trust. We acknowledge fee title and your reserved life estate rights. Use. Occupancy. Dock. 2 guests at a time. Quiet enjoyment. It reads like a lullaby in bureaucrat. I place it behind the stamped deeds and close the rings with a satisfying click. 2:40 p.m. Call with Dr. Ruiz. 15 minutes. Prepaid. He asks one question that lands like a level on a crooked shelf. What story do you tell yourself now when someone calls you cruel for holding a line? I look at the lake and answer without hunting. Kindness with a spine isn't cruelty. I'm not an enabler anymore. That is into the denouement of the damned. Keep that sentence, he says. Tape it to the inside of your skull. 3:11 p.m. Email from Ava. Attachment. Family mediation framework. PDF. 3 pages. Neutral church office. 90 minutes. No property talk. No recording. A licensed mediator. If either party gaslights, threatens, or weaponizes grief, the session ends. At the bottom, 2 signature lines and a date range that doesn't include holidays. I forward it to my own address and file it. I don't send it to Megan. Not yet. Invitation isn't obligation. 4:03 p.m. Small things that mean I live here. I re-oil the cutting board. Replace the porch bulb that's been too dim for years. Set a second mug next to mine, not for a ghost, but for whoever shows up one day respecting boundaries. I pull my wife's throw blanket over the back of the couch. The house exhales. 5:26 p.m. A text from Nate. Then nothing. Nate. Dinner on my porch tomorrow? No drama. Just chilly. Me. Yes. I put the phone face down without the old dread that something will explode when I'm not watching. 6:40 p.m. The last ritual. I walk the deck with my mug. The surface of the lake holds the sky like a promise it intends to keep. I speak the short creed I've earned. No more guilt payments. No more gaslighting. No more being the system for someone else's toxic story. And for men without television. Inside, I slide the Trust binder onto the top shelf. Not a weapon. A tool. The camera's tiny red LED blinks once, then disappears into the evening. When the kettle clicks off, I pour a second cup and set it on the table across from mine. Not as an ache, as an option. If my daughter ever chooses respect over leverage, there will be a chair, there will be coffee, there will be rules, and there will still be a lake that doesn't negotiate. I used to think peace meant saying yes. Turns out peace means writing things down and letting paper swing. Here's what this fight taught me: clean, simple, repeatable for anyone who needs it. 1. Psychology. Boundaries aren't cruelty, they're clarity. If someone calls your no toxic, that's not feedback, it's control. For 3 years I was the enabler, mistaking guilt for love. Saying yes paid the ransom but kept the hostage situation going. The moment I switched from feelings to facts, texts, dates, times, receipts, the story changed. Gaslighting dies in bright light. The placard on my door wasn't decoration, it was language. Private property, written permission required. No adjectives, no apologies. 2. Scripts beat speeches. I wanted a monologue. Instead, I used 3 lines on a speaker and 1 line to the police. Your presence is recorded. Leave immediately. Owner declines consent. Please document. And denied people over. All requests in writing to counsel. Every other sentence I wanted to say belonged in a diary, not on a record. 3. Evidence discipline is the cheapest lawyer you'll ever hire. I kept an incident log. I sent same-day recaps. Per our call at 7:41 a.m., you said X. I responded Y. I saved PDFs, not screenshots. I printed them. Body cam existed, but I didn't rely on it. The house generated event summary PDFs with timestamps and device IDs. Paper isn't emotional. Courts like that. 4. Use process, not performance. No theatrics. No haunted house. Admissible-only. Cameras, motion lights, a calm PA. Police civil standby. It wasn't about scaring people. It was about making a clean record of refusal and departure. The goal isn't revenge porn. It's procedural justice. 5. Legal armor is greater than loud voices. Title. Move the asset out of your personal pocket. My revocable living trust took title first. Endgame. The trust conveyed fee title to a community land trust. I retained a life estate, my right to occupy for life. That combination erased leverage. No holidays, no grandkids, no tears could pry the door. Powers. I recorded a POA revocation and sent no third-party authorization, letters to utilities divided by insurer, divided by town. Banking. Access controls, in-branch only changes, beneficiary confirmations so money matched the boundary. Police. I didn't call to win, I called to document. Owner declines consent is a complete sentence. 6. Don't diagnose, define. I stopped calling people narcissists and started calling behaviors unacceptable. No midnight calls, no threats, no weaponized grief. If they wanted to talk, mediation, neutral ground. No property talk, rules in writing. Boundaries invite healthy people and filter out the rest. Mercy isn't access. Offering resources, call 211, here's a mediation framework, is humane. Handing over keys is not. The second mug on my table is there for respect, not manipulation. The line lives in you first. Locks help, deeds help more. But the real shift was internal. Kindness with a spine isn't cruelty. Once I believed that, my voice matched the placard. The emails. The deeds. The house finally sounded like me. If you're stuck in a family story that keeps billing your dignity, try this sequence. Write, don't argue. Post clear notice. Call for civil standby, not drama. Move title where emotions can't reach it. Keep logs like your future depends on them because your peace might. My wife used to say the lake doesn't negotiate. Turns out, the law doesn't either when you let it speak. I set down the mug, look at the water, and feel the quiet land. Not empty. Quiet. That's what boundaries buy. If you've listened this far, Here's my takeaway stripped to the bone. Protecting your peace is not cruelty. It's healthcare for your mind. For years, I confused love with access and being a good dad with saying yes. That turned me into an enabler, trained by guilt to ignore every red flag, gaslighting, entitlement, threats wrapped in the word family. The biggest lesson I learned is that no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a monologue for choosing sanity. The day I switched from feelings to facts, logs, emails, deeds, my voice finally matched my boundaries. Paper didn't just win. It calmed my nervous system. A few truths I'm keeping taped to my skull. Kindness with a spine isn't cruelty. Boundaries invite healthy people and filter out the rest. Process beats performance. Write, post clear notice, call for a civil standby, let paper swing. You can love someone and still refuse to be their system. I hope my story buys you some courage for yours. If you're living inside someone else's drama loop, try one small boundary today, even if it's just, put that in writing. Your future self will thank you. Now I want to hear from you, Reddit style. AITA for drawing a hard line with my own family after years of enabling. What would you have done in my exact situation? Have you ever dealt with an entitled relative or a grade A narcissist who treated your kindness like a debit card? What survival scripts worked for you? If you could write one boundary you wish you'd learned 10 years sooner, what would it be? Drop your stories, your scripts, your hard-won tips below. Someone scrolling tonight needs your line in the sand.